Good morning, Standard 10. Now, we have completed the causes of the First World War. Now we are going to start with the result. Now, once again, I'm telling you, result we had so many. Okay, but then according to your syllabus, we'll be talking about only four results. Now, if the results come, so what was the result of the First World War? We are supposed to study the Treaty of Versailles, then the consequences of territorial rearrangement after the First World War on Austria and Hungary. Then we have consequences of the First World War on Turkey and the formation of the League of Nations. These four results we are going to study after the First World War. Now, here the First World War came to an end by the Treaty of Versailles. Okay, when the First World War came to an end, 28 June 1919, when this Treaty of Versailles was signed, the First World War came to an end. And where this Treaty of Versailles took place? In the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, France. Okay, the treaty refers to the agreement made by Germany, which had imposed a war on the Allies. Now, the persons who played an active role in framing the terms of the treaty included the British Prime Minister Lloyd George, President Woodrow Wilson of the United States, and M. Clemenceau, the French Premier, and V. Orlando of Italy. Okay, these names you have to remember who played an active role in framing the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. Now, the next which you have to remember main provisions of the Treaty of Versailles or consequences of the First World War on Germany. Now, you have to remember that Germany was compelled, she was forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles on June 28, 1919. Okay, it was harsh and humiliating treaty. It was harsh and humiliating treaty. Germany was forced to sign this treaty. Next, you have to remember what what are the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. Now, Germany and her allies were held guilty for aggression, and hence she was forced to cede certain parts of her pre-war territories to Denmark, Belgium, Poland, and Czechoslovakia. Then the treaty brought some vital territorial rearrangement, like Alsace and Lorraine were returned to France. Moreover, Saar Valley, known for its coal mines, was ceded to France for 15 years. Then the two duchies of Schleswig and Holstein were captured by Prussia, and Denmark in 1864 were returned back to Denmark by a plebiscite after a lapse of about 55-56 years, that is 1864 to 1919. Germany had also to lose her colonial empire, and it was divided among the victorious countries, like Togoland and Cameroons were divided among France and England. German colonies in Southwest Africa and East Africa were taken away from her and shared by England, Belgium, Poland, South Africa, while Japan got Shantung, Kyoto in China, New Zealand got Samoa Island. So the colonies were also shared by the victorious countries. Now the area of Rhine Valley was demilitarized. Okay, the area of Rhine Valley was demilitarized, and Germany could not construct or maintain any fortification either on the left bank of the river Rhine or right bank of the river Rhine. Then you have to remember that the German territory west of the Rhineland was to be occupied by the Allies for 15 years. The German army was reduced to 1 lakh and she was not to have any air force and submarines. Right? Now she was compelled, Germany had to accept the war guilt and she was compelled to pay a heavy sum of a war indemnity to the Allies. And the total amount as a war indemnity which she was supposed to pay was $33 billion. Thus, Treaty of Versailles was harsh and humiliating treaty. The next you have the consequences of the territorial rearrangement after the First World War on Austria and Hungary. Okay, so here Austria and Hungary became separate states. The rule of Ottomans came to an end in Turkey. Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia emerged as independent states. Germany had to surrender the area of Eupen and Malmedy to Belgium. And the war saw the end of autocratic monarchies in Germany, Russia, and Austria and Hungary. The Tsarist dictatorship in Russia came to an end after the outbreak of Russian Revolution in 1917. Okay? Now, consequences of the First World War on Turkey. What were the consequences of the First World War on Turkey? So here she also was forced to sign a separate treaty and this treaty was Treaty of Versailles. Turkey was forced to accept this treaty. So this treaty stipulated a complete dismemberment of the Turkish Empire. England also gained the control of Egypt from Turkey. And most of the remaining Turkish territories were shared by Greece and Italy. But something very important which you have to remember here that the Treaty of Versailles, however, could not put into practice. But why? What was the reason that Treaty of Versailles could not put into practice? Because there was a revolution in Turkey. Okay? Under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Pasha, whereby Turkey regained the control of Asia Minor and the city of Constantinople. So, we completed the three results, that is Treaty of Versailles. Then we completed the consequences of territorial rearrangement after the First World War. We also completed consequences of the First World War on Turkey. In the next class, I'll be explaining to you about League of Nations, formation of League of Nations, objectives of the League of Nations, and the failure of the League of Nations. So please learn all the three results. Thank you.